Backstabbing McCain hates Trump more than he hates Obamacare. John McCain is in a familiar position. He is once again back with his people. Job has regained his status as the darling of the leftist media. Just the way he likes it. The maverick, as he's been known in the past, is normally the definition of a Republican establishment hack. Yet he has now bucked his own party not once, but twice, with his two dramatic no votes on beginning the process of at least curtailing Obamacare. Let's be clear. This was not an Obamacare repeal vote. But remember, an object in motion tends to stay in motion. If this is all we can get, at least it's motion. Recall his first no vote as he strode to the floor of the Senate chambers to give his cinematic thumbs down, mic drop and walk off. If the Senate had performance awards, like the Emmys or Oscars, he would surely have won one. In this go-round, which is being billed as the Obamacare repeal swan song, he is making the excuse that his no vote is due to loyalty of unfealty to the sacred Senate process. Lacking the in-person dramatics, McCain issued a statement saying that healthcare reform legislation ought to be the product of regular order in the Senate. Yes, like Obamacare was. He added that, "This is the only way we might achieve bipartisan consensus on lasting reform, without which a policy that affects 1/5 of our economy and every single American family will be subject to reversal with every change of administration and congressional majority." Evidently not. At least not with contemptuous jerks like him in the Senate. This is all such a load of crap. Why can't he just be honest about his true motivation? He will never allow Trump a win of any kind. This is a personal vendetta, and anyone with eyes can see it. McCain has a bad temper, and is a bitter, vengeful old fool. It was on display when he lost the South Carolina primary to George W. Bush in 2000 for the Republican presidential nomination. The New Yorker writes that, John McCain's disdain for Donald Trump was stronger than his love of Lindsey Graham. I rarely agree with the New Yorker, but they are correct in their assessment. For any other president, McCain would have voted yes. His hatred for Trump runs so deep as to completely cloud his judgment. I feel certain that ever since Trump dissed McCain regarding his capture during the Vietnam War, McCain resigned himself to never align with Trump and to do everything in his power to obstruct and torpedo Trump's agenda. And he doesn't care who he hurts in the process, not even his BFF, Lindsey Graham. And I think that this is what makes it so obvious. McCain doesn't care whether Obamacare is repealed. Like many politicians, he doesn't care about anyone but himself and his own personal power. But most thought he cared about his friendship with Graham. Historically, these two were like peas in a pod. They always voted together, regardless of the issue. But he despises Trump so, that he is even willing to sell his friend down the river, to deny Trump a victory. And it's not as if it's a real win for the Trumpster. But the maverick knows that Trump will take the Senate victory and run with it. At any cost, McCain must deny this of the president. At the cost of the people of Arizona, and millions of Americans who will eventually face ruin as Obamacare is held together. And his hatred is even greater than what everyone knows is on the horizon. Thanks to John's sophomoric spite, we are set on a path to Bernie-care, single-payer Medicare for all.